Three tomatoes are walking down the street. Papa tomato, mama tomato, and baby tomato.
Plain Ketchup presents.
Starring Lindsay Hinkle and Jamie Nelson.
So this is Plain Ketchup, is it? I prefer something with a little more kick.
Everybody's favorite condiment-themed entertainment podcast.
Put some hot sauce on my burrito, baby!
Hot sauce.
Nobody puts ketchup on a hot dog.
You're listening to Hot Sauce on PlainKetchupPodcast.com. This month we are talking jobs. I'm Jamie Nelson, and with me, my co-host,
Lindsay Hinkle.
Yay, Lindsay! I'm so happy to see you.
You know, Jamie.
Yes, what?
I just got home from a very long shift.
Shift to where?
Shift at work.
I'm sorry to hear that your shift was long. I'm sure this job isn't your worst job.
Oh no, this is a great job. I get to talk about pies all day. I mean, I am an expert on the topic of pies, let me tell you. I was a telemarketer for a while, but people would start screaming at me and they would swear at me and they'd be like, I'm on the no-call list. You stop calling me this instant, blah, blah, blah. And I tried to be like, sir, the reason why I can call you is because I'm working for a nonprofit. But then on the other end of the spectrum, you had people who, it was kind of sad. They were obviously a little bit lonely and just wanted someone to talk to, and they would sit there and they would tell you everything they had to eat that day. They would tell you what happened on Days of Our Lives, which was pretty useful because at the time I didn't really have time to watch Days of Our Lives, and I was still trying to keep up with the world of Salem. But yeah, what was your worst job?
I don't know if I have a worst job, but I certainly have a job that I was not qualified for. And that was being in a position, both physically in a position and job-wise in a position, that made me look like I was the information desk for an institution I knew nothing about. And that was the front desk at the library, the school library for a school that I did not attend. At the library they have someone sit at the front desk to check IDs because a few years ago somebody came into the library with an axe and axed somebody in the stacks.
Wow.
So now they have someone checking IDs to make sure you actually attend the school, because everybody knows if you attend the school, therefore you can't possibly be crazy.
Literally 5 hours ago, I was sitting in those stacks where someone got axed, happily studying, not at all thinking someone was going to come axe me. And now, next time I'm in that library, in those stacks, I'm going to be thinking about someone coming up behind me with an axe.
We've got in the waiting room comedian Chase Roper.
Come on in, Chase.
How are you, Chase?
Yay, I'm doing good. How are you, Jamie?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. So I've got to introduce you and we got to talk about jobs. So why don't we kill two birds and you start us off by telling our audience what you do?
I am a comedian and a freelance writer. So when I'm not humiliating myself on stage, I am humiliating myself by accepting horribly underpaid writing gigs on the internet.
Do you have any new articles online that you're particularly proud of that people should go look up right now?
Oh, yeah, the one that paid the least was the one that didn't pay at all. And I was, you know how magazines do jokes at the, People Magazine will have, let's make fun of Lady Gaga's clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing that for Lifestyle magazine for a while. I think they realized that nobody reads that part of the magazine. and they stopped doing that. But that was the most gratifying because the most people read it. So I didn't care if that particular thing paid. That was my pay was my website address.
Oh yes, of course.
And I don't think Life and Style magazine realized that's not how website links work.
Yeah, my day job is publicity, so I kind of know how that works. It doesn't matter if people don't, because I do book publicity. It doesn't matter if people don't come to your book signing. It's the announcements of the book signing that people see, and then they hear about the book.
Oh yeah, maybe I should just start doing that. Come up with some way to sign the thing I'm going to write and just announce it.
Yeah, well, I saw if you were doing a lot of online stuff. I actually saw the other day. I forget what the web address is, but they've come up with this way to sign books, but if you have an ebook. And so
the author can, from their home on this website, autograph your ebook and even endorse it to whoever and draw pictures and all this stuff.
What? Anybody could do that.
No.
You could just ebook your own. You could just e-sign your book yourself as the other person.
And I feel also sort of, at least as someone who goes to book signings, I feel like the point is not to walk away with a signed book. The point is kind of getting to meet the author you really like and all this stuff. So just
exactly, not messing with Adobe Pro e-file signature. I'm picturing I don't know if you ever had to put your e-signature on an Adobe document.
I have not.
And it wants you to put in your security code, and you register for it.
God.
And then you put in your code, and then it puts Adobe puts a stamp at the bottom saying you've now e-signed the document. I'm picturing that handing that in to the author, here you go, here's my copy, and then they have to do this whole e-signing thing.
Do you accept this autograph?
Yes, you accept the autograph, and then now nobody can modify it.
And then you also can't sell it on eBay. So what's the point?
Yeah, I don't get that.
Oh man, I had somebody the other day tell me that she was trying to describe why she would make a good publicist, but she told me that in order to be a publicist, one must be an obsessive list maker and paranoid, which isn't really the most flattering thing to say when you're talking to a publicist.
Yeah, why do you have to be paranoid? I talk to publicists all the time.
I don't know why. I mean, I definitely am paranoid, but I don't know why that's a requirement.
I guess maybe. I won't say names. I don't want to make anybody who may listen to this feel self-conscious. They'll know who it is. There's a particular publicist I work with frequently. I do a lot of writing for Punchline Magazine, or Laughspin.com. I don't know who the hell we are anymore. I just keep emailing things to the same place.
Yeah.
And I'll do an interview with a comedian over the phone. And a lot of times, almost every time. Oh, hey, my kids want to yell.
Oh, that's nice.
Almost every time, the publicist will be listening, on mute, on the other line. And so, if the comic asks me if I've heard a particular track on a CD, and if I haven't heard that yet, the publicist will immediately interrupt the conversation. Go,
really?
Oh, we're emailing that to you, and we're also sending the headshot, and you'll also get this track and this track.
I found that really bizarre. I've never sat in on an interview that any of my authors have done.
Oh, it'll especially be if I'm talking to a bigger name person that they don't want me to ask any particular controversial question.
Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense.
And don't ask this or this.
Sure.
And so it's really hard to have a natural conversation because I become paranoid.
Right.
I don't think that the publicist is paranoid. I think the publicist just exudes that I just made that word up.
I think it's a word.
But they just give off paranoia. Or maybe that's because I have anxiety.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I've had authors who if they want to do an interview, they have to know what all the questions are ahead of time.
I've had that happen before. That's not so bad. I prefer not, but I think you get not that Laughspin is just a blog. I like to think of us as actual internet magazine.
Sure.
But you've got so many different micro niche blogs and websites that you're mostly just getting amateur hour people wanting to do interviews. And then they'll ask something that they think is ironically funny, but the person they're asking it to isn't in on the joke. It just becomes awkward and uncomfortable. And
are you one of those people who's had lots of jobs in your life, or have you been doing this for a long, long time?
No, I jumped into I've always done a lot of writing. It's always been something I've loved, and writing comedy. I used to write sketches and things in junior high and high school, and our school would have me. They do an assembly or something, and then ask me would I write a sketch for it. And so I do that kind of stuff all the time. Then when I started a family after high school, I sort of didn't have time to do any writing, and I ended up having lots of different jobs in retail. I was in management and retail for a long time. Then when I got out of retail about 5 years ago, or longer, I got a desk job that was regular, a 9 to 5. Regular 9 to 5 job, yeah. And it was so much easier to sit and like I could get all my work done with such less pressure.
Mm.
And I remembered how much I loved writing, and so I started a blog.
Ah.
and the more I started writing, and the more the comedy writing came, the more I remembered how much I loved comedy, and I started just to do that more and more, until eventually I left that job altogether.
Very nice. Success story.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if it's a success, but definitely a human interest followed my heart story.
Yes. Well, if you were able to leave your job, that's quite good. I'm a writer. I think I've always been a writer, but I don't do it professionally because I can't make any money off of it at the moment.
Well, I have my secret is I have a spouse who also has a full-time job.
Ah, that's it.
So I'm supplementing our income, and I don't have any pressure to get something published or I won't eat.
Ah, yes.
So I'm sort of cheating.
Well, that's the way to go, I guess.
Yeah. I did try to get back into retail. I wanted to get a day job again, but the one that was at night, a night job.
Mm-hmm.
That's the word for those things. And so I got a job doing it was a graveyard shift for the nation's largest retailer.
That's subtle.
Yeah, it was Walmart. It sounds way better if you work at the nation's largest retailer than you worked at Walmart.
Yes.
And I was there this was pretty recently. I was there for 2 weeks, and then I'm not there anymore. And it was the most miserable goddamn experience ever. First, going back into retail, awful, because I swore I'd never return.
Mm-hmm.
And people just like sitting. The worst thing, it wasn't bad doing the work because I was just like merchandising things and making shelf displays and like making sure things were priced competitively and whatever. It was real easy. But then being on break and having to like sit around the other people who have like lesser jobs that hate life and talk about the most, like, there was the thing that I remember the most when I realized I have to quit this already. There was 2 workers that were sitting at my break table, and one person noticed the other guy was like eating like a pastrami sandwich. He decided, let's talk about this. So they're talking about what they're eating for lunch. I'm eating a pastrami sandwich. The other guy was eating, I don't even remember, I don't even care what. And they went from discussing what sandwiches they're eating to what other kinds of sandwiches they've liked.
To other kinds of sandwiches that exist in the world.
Other kind of sandwiches. And eventually it went from saying like, I like this. Do you like this? Or I've had this sandwich. It turned into just naming foods that they've eaten. And if you just walk into the room, it just literally sounded like 2 people saying different things you can eat.
So at no point you thought, I'm a comedian. I can change their lives around. I can make this place a happier place.
No, I didn't want to say anything to those. I just sat back and tweeted how god awful this experience was as it was happening. Live tweeting my break.
Aww.
You could just walk into that room at that moment and just hear like bananas and milk, raisin bran, bread pudding. Like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Now we can walk onto Twitter and see it secondhand.
They can't. No, my Chase is actually my middle name.
Oh.
Ian is my legal first name.
Ah.
And so my name tag said Ian, and I was going to have Human Resources fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And then turned out there was some other person named Chase there, and he was an asshole.
Mm.
To the point where it inspired me not to be my own name.
Wow.
So somebody in the break room asked me, so do you do Facebook or Twitter or anything? And I was like, no, that's not for me.
Mm. So they can't even look you up because they'll be like, oh.
So they can't see how mean I was to them.
Very nice.
Yeah.
My first job was folding maps at the Department of Transportation for 40 hours a week.
You had a map folding job.
Yes, for 40 hours a week. Folding maps. That made my fingers really numb by the end of the day.
Wow. I just assumed those things like a robot did that.
Everybody says that, but it's like the kind of map that, like, it's not for consumers. It's like the kind that you send out to the little villages and say, this is what we have on file. Is this correct? If so, send it back and say yes.
So like we don't We don't know what this thing is because we live in a village.
Yeah. So they're all different sizes and stuff. So like we'd like fold them up and put them into envelopes and mail them off.
Oh, and you couldn't just like fold them just fold them in half 4 times? Did you have to like fold them in those ways?
No, and like the number at the top of the map had to be in the upper left corner, and like there were all these rules, and it was.
Did anybody from a village ever mail it back and go, oh, "This is not folded back"? I can't verify this map.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the village people, if they knew what they were getting.
Yeah, that's the worst. I didn't have a job that bad folding maps. This has gotten to the point. I'm past the point of being frustrated at the noise, and it's become like a hilarious comedy of errors in my living room.
Sounds very violent.
My 4-year-old is violently screaming because I think my 12-year-old took the cat away from her.
Oh.
He just yelled, fucking A, my 12-year-old, and then my 7-year-old said, "You can't say fuck." And that's all happening in the living room with the window open.
That's amazing. They're setting examples for the neighbor children.
This is good. This is good for podcasting.
Before we let you go, where can people find you online?
The best place to find me is on Twitter. I'm the most active there, and that's just twitter.com/ChaseRoper.
All right.
I'm on Facebook, but I'll probably I ignore it for the most part. Twitter's the best.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah. Take care.